Yeah, Reed got around Brown, and now he's going after Villopoto, and Dungey takes the lead. 3 championship favorites in the same
pressure-packed championship battles that I've ever witnessed. 2000 250 motocross comes to mind, him and Ben Townley, and he was able to withstand it. So let's see if he can counteract. Apexing his turns, he's being very patient right now. He's not trying to blast it up. See the riders zigzagging back and forth across the apex of the turns. Now the momentum for the number 1.
Dungey on the outside. They swap spots from where they were 1 lap ago, and Villopoto grabs a handful of throttle and gets it back. Oh, and Dungey and Chad Reed going after your leader, Ryan Villopoto. Great racing here at Hangtown, and somehow Villopoto has survived another charge. Dungey's got to be careful. The 22 of Reed is right behind him. Now Dungey to the inside. I haven't seen anyone run inside where Dungey just went. Wasn't able to make the pass.
Trying to ride their sheet.
Can he make it happen? Completely different lines to this corner, side by side. Dungey overjumps on the outside, and Villopoto's going to beat him in the spot. Tremendous riding under pressure for Villopoto on the number 2.
Dungey really has some lines where he can set Villopoto up, but Villopoto has held steady.
Will Dungey back it in this corner? This is where he made the pass for the lead on Wyndham in Moto 1. Villopoto has it covered. The last 2 laps in a row. Here we go again. Dungey grabs the lead. Villopoto this time not able to respond, and Ryan Dungey has done it the hard way.
Through that section, the rear wheel never slipped out, and he was on the throttle the whole time. Made the pass stick, and now Villopoto has to worry about Chad Reed, number 22 here.
He could start with his championship-winning setup.
True.
He said that might give Dungey an advantage, but I'll tell you what, it worked out about exactly the same at this point in the moto.
I'll tell you, let's see, just all of a sudden you start hitting every bump on the track.
Whoa, Reed's getting close on the inside. Can you squeeze Villopoto? Yes! Under the weather coming into this one, dealing with a little bit of a cold or maybe even the flu, and maybe that's having an effect. But how about this? Reed coming after Dungey. He wants the lead.
And it's physically fit and just have brute strength. Even though most motocross athletes are built more like the endurance athletes, like a bicycle rider or a runner for the most part, but incredibly strong in the package that they have.
Oh, Reed's strong. He's on the inside. This is the line that Dungey liked to use to make passes, and now Reed is going to try to use it against him.
He's got it.
I think he does. Chad Reed has taken over the lead from Ryan Dungey.
Through the braking bumps and kept his momentum, and it was very methodical how he got through that to keep his momentum into that turn. This ain't going to be a fast lap time, but it doesn't matter because he's your winner.
Chad Reed wins Hangtown for the 2nd year in a row. This year doing it on his own terms.
And the riders are really fearful of this hot weather.
Man, that looks like fun. All right, let's show you the highlights from Moto number 1. Off the start, Ryan Villopoto buried his team. Things would get pretty crazy early because of surprise. Christian Craig out front of the Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda on fire.
It came alive, made some passes, and then things started to unravel. And he started dropping quickly.
Yeah, he got around Reed, then Reed gets him back. Now Dungey's going to get by, and Porcel would eventually pull off the track after losing this spot to Dungey. The word is not comfortable with the bike setup, but he has revised it for Moto 2. A little more, definitely showed some speed. Now Reed, clear of Dungey, clear of Porcel, goes after your leader. The man is out. Villopoto was way back early, as we mentioned off the start, would fight his way through to a podium spot and outduel Craig and Millsaps down to the end to get 3rd. Dungey 2nd. Chad Reed takes another win. This guy is feeling the flow right now and feeling the heat. Moto number 2 on speed of the 450 class.
Can be a yellow one there, Wygant.
Yeah, Rockstar Makita Suzuki and his teammate Ryan Dungey with him. And Dungey carries the momentum and takes the lead. Chad Reed right there in 3rd. Jake Weimer not too far back in 4th, but right now, Jeff, Ryan Dungey leading him around.
And as they start to sort out here in 5th on the Yamaha, so.
Look at Reed and Metcalf, pair of Australians battling for 2nd. Reed on the 22. On the Butler Brothers Suzuki, here is Villopoto going after Wyndham. Wyndham 14 and Villopoto number 2.
Well, and notice, this is Villopoto. See if he gets up the inside, just over the yellow markers.
Away, but very early here in the heat of Texas. It's the Rockstar Energy Drink Freestone National. Round 2 of Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship Racing. And the 2 contenders are right up front early. Dungey on the number 1, Chad Reed in the 22. Just getting started. Ryan Dungey in sight.
Well, let's see how he rebounds here and see if he feels any sense of urgency or if he says, okay, second's fine. This is a long summer, 24 motos in total, so lose the overall. Now here's Reed. This is coming into a turn. This is, I believe, off of that step-down tabletop, considering that they go one or he gets a first and Reed ends up second.
Oh, look at the traffic these riders have to deal with. This course is getting more and more difficult as we show you the gap between Dungey and Reed. There it is.
The burner here. Uh-oh, two's down.
Wow. Big shake up there. This could loom large in points at the end of the year.
Make it past Simmons. Holding tough.
Holding tough is Ryan Dungey. Also, he has a big lead now over Chad Reed, 21 seconds. So way to respond for Dungey after taking a beating from Reed last week. Ryan Dungey has a big lead here late in the second moto, but he is slowing dramatically and I believe coming to a stop. Jeff Emig, it's over.
Well, the Honda technicians run over.
There's
your new leader.
Unbelievable. Now, we mentioned mechanical troubles for a lot of riders so far this year, but out the year is really as a true privateer, was doing it with help from a pro circuit and a couple of others. There's Dungey. Now Reed's got the full factory team Honda help. They had mechanical troubles in the first moto at Wyndham, so
am I going to win this thing again?
Wow. That should move Millsaps up to second, and Ricky Dietrich might just be on the podium by the time this one is over. Checkered flag coming out. Chad Reed wins in Freestone. Incredible turn of events. That's why they run the races. What more can you say, Gosler? What more can you say, Dungey?
As we show you the series point standings, it's dominated right now by the veteran from Australia, Chad Reed.
Chad Reed has built his points lead with 2 overall wins. And Chad, what's it going to take here at High Point to keep that train rolling and keep the red plate?
Hopefully the same thing, you know. High Point's been great to me. It was my first ever lights win, my first ever 450 win. So, yeah, just try to keep the ball rolling. I kind of feel like I'm tied on points right now. You know, I think Dungey had a really bad luck in Texas, and I just want to bring it every weekend, you know, just leave the race, win or lose, knowing that I brought it, you know, everything that I had, gave it all I had, and rode the best that I could. And so far, I'm just having so much fun because I'm riding to my ability, and that's as a racer, that's all you want to ask from yourself.
Lucas Oil race recap. Off the start, Mike Alessi actually jumps through the gate. A couple riders down. Moto did not mess around. He immediately snagged the #1 spot from Dungey and took off, Jeff.
Yeah, he was flying. He rode efficient and fast. Dungey here chased him. Great shot for the overall.
Meanwhile, Chad Reed, your series leader, struggling, just trying to get into the top 5, battling it out here with Jake Weimer there, and then go after Kevin Windham to get into 4th. But he would still have to deal with Millsaps down the stretch of that race. 2 rounds of the year. The guy who did win, this rider, Ryan Villopoto, rebounding with a huge first moto win today. Whole shot, and he's used to this. One of the best starters in the business has got the start.
And that was a Yamaha, somebody that slid in. Look at the water holes, guys.
Yeah.
As you see Alessi just rocking out front, and this is what's so tough. This is why Villopoto and all the other riders.
Christian Craig down, get roosted. Basically, the riders in front don't throw mud on top of you, so Alessi's in a good position right now.
Huge advantage at this point to be out front. And now it's even greater.
Well, what's had to change, that is Reed. So it was Dungey. Dungey has gone down. So that's how quickly things change, especially in muddy conditions in this sport. And this
Here in PA.
Oh, and here is Dungey, who was second on the first lap. He goes down. He's lost a whole bunch of ground, Jeff. And it's paying off. He is, like you said, not intimidated by Reed. He's trying to get second place from him.
No, you know, and he's just come off a great result in Freestone, and he wants to do well this weekend. You know, he does have a lot to prove. And he
Numbers on these things. There he is.
Brown and green bike.
Okay, the brown and green. All right, there is Villopoto in 3rd. Tiffany Simmons, what are you hearing on Villopoto?
Definitely got the bike dialed in.
Now we know how Villopoto got into 3rd. Millsaps down, and he's falling further and further through the field. So it certainly wouldn't be a surprise considering how slippery it is. This is Dungey, who got his crash out of the way early, and he is in 5th right now. And it's 10th. Focus back in on the new leader, Chad Reed, and I don't even know, Jeff, if he knows he's in the lead. A lot of times these guys go down, there's riders falling all over the place. Might he have not even seen Alessi?
You know, and when things don't go right is when you really need those protective devices.
Got a battle on our hands here for 2nd, Alessi, and now Villopoto on the #2.
You know, it's funny, during qualifying practice today, I was standing with Tony Alessi, Mike Alessi's father, and they were kind of in the same position in qualifying. And I said, this looks like a replay of 2003, you know?
Yeah, and Villopoto makes the move.
Stay smooth right now because Dungey is charging, and out of the two, Dungey's more likely to make the mistake.
Yeah, but Dungey really has been, I mean, just riding fantastic this year. So any mistake by Chad Reed and he could give up this moto win. There's Weimer, Villopoto's teammate.
Just went a lap down, Cheney. A lot of riders fell. Chad Reed stayed strong, he stayed consistent, and he will win here at High Point Raceway in Pennsylvania. Doesn't matter what the conditions are, Chad Reed is tough to beat in 2011.
That was a tough challenge, but that's when you got to dig deep, you know, and we had tough conditions. The track was so slippery, and Alessi was just willing to let it hang out, and then I just had to get into a pace, and I think he might have got caught up with a lapper or something like that and went down. So I just tried to put some good laps in and then just control the race. It was so hard and had to take off my goggles. And man, just hats off to all the guys for regrouping and making it better.
Race 2, Villopoto, who won that first one, is going to edge Dungey and Reed. So Reed has a one-race win today.
You know, it was pretty crazy. As soon as we lined up on the gate, the skies opened up pretty hard, and then the track is just like, you know, it's so slippery. It's just survival. So we got a good start, and it was decent. And then, you know, just kind of picked some guys off and ended up second there, you know. I seen Chad, I really couldn't do a whole lot with that, but, you know, just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Gate drops. Chad Reed gonna elbow a bunch of guys out of the way in the first turn, do what he needs to do, and put the 22 machine up front.
On this
sure,
thing, right?
It's gone, it's over. No, Mike Alessi gets around him, and then Ryan Villopoto gets around Alessi. Another of the classic Villopoto-Alessi battles. Villopoto in the lead. We figure now he's going to check out.
He's got 10 seconds. Don't worry about it. He's flying. Dungey's coming back here from fourth. He's trying to make the move around the outside on Chad Reed. That's going to give him third. He was gone. And Alessi was trying to hang on to second, and Dungey wisely goes around the outside.
Alessi going to battle for the final podium spot for top 3, and Reed is finally able to make the move. Series points leader. A mistake, they would battle all the way to the finish, but Villopoto would just hang on by about a second and a half. You see Dungey on the yellow bike right behind him. Mike Alessi leads them into turn 1. Will wants it.
Alessi or Wyndham. I'm not sure who made it across the white stripe first, but I know that Alessi shifted gears faster than anyone and basically chopped Dungey and Wyndham.
He was able to come through. So it's Alessi in the 800 in the lead, the 1 of Dungey, the 22 of Reed. Where did he come from? He's challenging Wyndham, and he gets third.
Moto 1 winner, he is in 5th. Chad Reed needs to do something just like he did last week.
Like he did right now.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, explain Reed's situation.
Put some water down, okay? That's to reduce the dust, but in those hard, dusty sections, that's where it's really slippery right now. You can see where the dirt is dark, it's wet. Where it's light, more than likely dry. Up through here, and then you drop back down into some serious braking bumps on the other end. And this is the type of sections where the chassis set up.
Third lap, it's less than a second, only 8/10 between Alessi. Oh, and Alessi almost threw the lead away.
Well, think about the number 22, Chad Reed. He's your points leader. He's also won all 3 second motos. Well, look at that. Alessi makes a little mistake, and it allows Chad Reed to get to the inside line. He pulls the tear off. This is going to be a drag race. Who can get on the brakes the latest? Wow, did you see how much these bikes are jumping around?
Oh, and Reed, that was not supposed to be a spot where you can make a pass. He's going to try it on the outside anyway.
Let's see if Reed cuts back to the inside, tries to hold the tight line. Yes,
he does.
But Alessi's
able to hold it. Reed is all over Alessi. They're going to go side by side again.
And then over the next roller, Reed's been trying to hold this tight line, and now Alessi picks up on it, but is it enough?
Oh! Side by side again. They're going to scrub this finish line jump together. Reed on the inside, Alessi on the outside, and I think that's enough for Reed to grab the spot.
Dungey flies down Henry Hill, and look at the wide line. Let's see if he can carry more momentum around the outside and do something with it.
Lethal on this track. Here is Dungey putting the challenge to Alessi in the same spot Reed did. Nice job walking the tightrope on the inside, and Dungey's going to get the spot. No.
Wow, look at Alessi. He just stayed in his line, but Villopoto relentless.
Wow.
Over the finish line jump.
I didn't think he'd be able to make this happen. He started on the outside, switched to the inside, and Villopoto's got the spot. Closest they have been since the opening lap of this race when Reed made a pass on Dungey. Now Reed got to hope that Dungey doesn't repay him and get him back here in the second half.
Traction.
Wow, so Reed not changing much. Struggling in Moto 1, strong in Moto 2. So, like you said, Jeff, earlier, it's all on him. The bike's fine.
It's on him. Just get some fresh rubber on the bike with those nice, sharp edges.
Watching this battle on this racetrack has got you fired up. But why wouldn't it? Look how good this is as Dungey is ready to try to make a pass.
Hey, if I could scream and take my shirt off and wave it right now, I'd be one of those fans out there. I love when somebody catches you to start riding, I'm defensive. Reed said, no, I'm not going to ride defensive here. I'm going to step it up, and I'm going to raise the level once again because I win every second moto this year, and I'm not giving this up here at Butts Creek either. In 2009, when Chad was with Team Suzuki, Roger DeCosta was guiding him through his first and only, to this point, AMA Motocross Championship. Effortless out there, flowing around the track. He has that rhythm that we spoke of earlier, and Villopoto seems to have no rhythm at this point. I don't know if it's physical, if it's mental, but right now, Villopoto is definitely come under fire from the veteran Kevin Windham.
Out to try to make a pass on the final lap.
Yeah, Dungey's on it now. Reed didn't draw such good lines going up that last hill. You see his mechanic there. Lars, a little loose right now. Okay, you're not like, your body is a little bit weaker than at the start of the moto. But this is what you train for, is to be able to ride the full 30 minutes plus 2 laps.
Aaron, what do you have on the 20?
He's got a little cushion. He's got to feel good about that. But there's still some really technical sections here coming up that Chad's going to have to maneuver through if he's going to take this moto win.
And
see right
one
there.
Of them. And all he sees is the checkered flag. Reed is going to win the overall here at Butts Creek. Down the stretch, and he's got himself his 3rd victory of the year.
I mean, I love this track, and like I said to you in the first one, I just had no pace. I just had no rhythm, and I needed to go back to the truck and have a good think about myself. And came back out, got another great start, and actually passed people, and that's a good thing.
He's 1 point behind Reed and Villopoto for the day, so he'll lose 1 point in the overall championship standing. 2006, we'll show you the series point standings now, and Villopoto made up some ground on Reed. Lucas Oil, Troy Lee, Honda's Christian Craig on the 144 is going to beat everyone into turn 1, including the big names.
To try to get past the 144, just could not make it stick.
Yeah, look at Craig battling Reed. Reed unable to get by him. Ryan Villopoto on the number 2 takes advantage, passes Reed for 2nd, and before long he's going to go after Craig around the outside here, which will become the inside of the next corner. Ryan Villopoto to the lead.
Yeah, things started happening pretty fast for Chad Reed, but front, and watch here at the left of your screen, the reigning champion Ryan Dungey goes down.
In some major pain. Meanwhile, Villopoto opening up a big lead while Dungey and Reed were battling behind him, but there was no competition for the two.
Yeah, but watch this battle here. Dungey was so persistent trying to get past Chad Reed. I mean, this is deep into the moto. Finally, really lays it down, gets aggressive, and finally
back to 5th. Meanwhile, Villopoto, he's got the checkered flag in hand because he has won.
Can he do it again?
Trying for a top 10. He was 11th in Moto 1. And Chad Reed's going to lead him. Oh, and Jake Weimer down.
It certainly is. It looks like Moto 1 winner Villopoto just behind Albertson.
That was Craig there on the 144, Lucas. Most of the top series favorites have been getting the starts consistently. Once again, we have Reed, Dungey, Villopoto up front early.
Look at Chad Reed here, and just watch these bikes hardened up, and they get big hooks in them. So instead of being like a perfect circle around the turn, it'll be like drawing a zigzag around the turn. Notice in that section, they smoothed it out.
To go. So he has had the speed to win these things. He just hasn't had the right luck. Speaking of Ryan Villopoto, and speaking of the right luck, here he is, and he has made the move on Kevin Windham. Look out.
Villopoto, the first lap, made the moves, really aggressive. Instinctually just was able to work his way past whatever riders were in his way, and getting himself back to this championship chase.
Yeah, Reed had struggled at this facility before. You go back to his championship season 2009, I believe he finished 8th place. Harder when you're already tired.
Well, yeah, and of course with the elevation here and the lack of oxygen that's in the air and how much it taxes your body, it is really difficult at that point. Plus, another interesting thing I learned is he's got that. Now there's other business to do.
Yeah, like hold off Brayton as Reed, meanwhile, have to hold off the one of Dungey. This is the kind of aggression we've been waiting for Dungey all year right now, because he is all over Reed.
The first moto, we definitely saw that. And
there he goes. Mistake by Reed. Dungey to the #1 spot.
Today, let's see if he can make the move. Oh, slams the door there.
And as they tangle with each other, look who's coming up in third, Villopoto. And it doesn't get any better than this. Your fastest 3 men in motocross. 1, 2, 3. Throw a blanket over the Villopoto. This is his line around the outside. He used it in Moto 1. Reed wisely blocks it. Villopoto's on the outside again. They're going to race past the Makita Mechanics area. Villopoto switches it up. A drag race through the rough stuff. And Villopoto takes over second.
See, when you get up to these hard sections, there's a little bit of small rocks in here. The roost, once that stuff starts to hit you, it's, man, you either got to fight for it or you're going to just back off and just be content with third place.
He's got to hope that they maybe slow each other up like he and Dungey did a lap or so ago. But look at Villopoto. He has found that rhythm that you've been talking about, and he is ready to try to make a pass. There he goes to the inside for that. The four-stroke engines are a little bit bigger, Jeff. They're right near the gas tank, and explain how that heats up the fuel, and then you got problems.
Yeah, I mean, basically, when the gas tank's set. Beautiful day. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. And the motocross fans here, they've just came out in droves, and they've been treated to some unbelievable racing. At the top of your screen was a green bike.
Be able to pick a favorite between Reed and Villopoto and Dungey. They have all beaten each other straight up at different times this year. This is an amazing championship fight beginning to materialize. Ryan Dungey wins at Lakewood. Villopoto takes a solid run for second, and they congratulate each other.
To get that win means a lot. You know, 5 rounds in, and should have came earlier, but you know it's racing. But just got to throw it up for Team Rockstar Miki. We've been working our butts off, and this win feels really good. You know, I just try to keep continuing it. But bike was awesome. Got to thank the man above and my whole family. It feels good to get this one. You know, we're at altitude. The bikes are slower. It gets to us towards the end of the motos, but yeah, I'm really happy. The second motos that second moto was my best one all year so far, and it's just going to get better from here.
Ryan points with the second and first, but that's all right with them because they make up 7 points in the day on your leader, Chad Reed. And
it's good. You know, I've always struggled here, but no excuses, man. It's a track where you need starts, and Honda's always been strong here, so kind of pressure was on a little bit, but man, that CR 450 rips up that start straight, and it's by far the best bike I've rode in elevation. So I just struggled in the ruts a little bit. Those guys were really, really committed, and I just didn't have pace. So 3-3's safe at this point, and yeah, I got a little work to do.
The lead's been cut about in half between he and Villopoto, but that podium finish helps preserve the #1 spot in the series. Let's go racing in the first 450 Moto live on Fuel TV. And it's not Villopoto, it's Jake Weimer on the 32 who has been begging for a good start this year. Finally has one. He's going to lead them around. Davey Millsap around Weimer for the #2 spot.
See if he slides up the inside here. Yep, nice clean pass.
Dungey going to try to follow Reed through and get Weimer as well to move up into third. The yellow Rockstar Makita Suzuki up to third to challenge Reed, who's in second.
Well, and a lot like in that first 250 moto for Will Hahn, Moto Concepts Yamaha, I mean, they have hired guys. They've got, I mean, they're just peppering the circuit with different riders, but allow some pressure from Ryan Dungey as he closes right up on him.
It's a critical portion of the race right now because we've seen Dungey get to Reed several times this year, not make the pass, and then he gets a little frustrated or even worn out. So we'll see if he can strike this time.
Last lap around, which was lap 2 of the race, Millsaps turns a 2:13.7 is Villopoto.
And Villopoto tumbling off to your right.
Hahn is right here in the yellow and red gear.
Yeah. So
he's fast here.
Yeah, he knows this track well. So Villopoto, I guess, should we say he's lucky to even be back in this race because that has taken the measure of Hahn.
It didn't look like he was getting up too quick. No. I mean, Villopoto was, 20 feet away from his bike.
Wow.
Okay, wait, I need to back off just 5 or 10 feet to let the roost settle down, save my tear off, save my goggles. Here it comes right here. Now, see, Reed's a little bit behind, and he's going to just kind of stop a little bit right there, let him go, let the roost come down.
And the fans beginning to cheer this battle. Pick a favorite, get to the fence, look at Dungey, go after. He actually caught roost from Millsaps. He was so close to the leader, even though Reed was in between them.
Instantly pulls the tear off before he goes over that Lucas Oil drop. because you don't want to come over that and just be blinded with mud, and that's...
Reed just pulled some tear-offs. He's going after Millsaps. He's dealing with pressure from Dungey. He doesn't want any of that. So
okay, but, I mean, you got to be right on it. But you can see right now, Reed said, okay, now it's time to turn up the heat and do something with this. I've been back in the back long enough. Let's see.
Dungey all over each other. Reed putting another press on Millsaps.
Let's see. Nope. Millsaps slams the door right there, but no doubt Michael Byrne cheering on his fellow Australian, good buddy Chad Reed to take this win here, but
Reed around the outside. They're headed to the biggest jump, not just on this track, but in this series. And Reed makes the pass on the outside.
Instantly pulls the tear off once again. He just risked it all right there. Now let's see if Dungey can make the same move, because I got a feeling these guys are going to start to pull out on Millsaps here as they come around. Dungey at a 215.
Dungey needs to get Millsaps, and he's going for it. On the inside through the first turn. That's where it hooks back onto the start straight. Can Millsaps get him back? No. So Dungey's into second, and we might just be set up for yet another Chad Reed, Ryan Dungey battle.
Can't miss it. Comes on right after this.
Okay, so just the Jeff Emig show keeps rolling on.
That's it.
Once we're done here in Red Button. Cool.
All throw, all day.
Yes, you see gold where you look.
I don't know what's going on
Chad
there.
Reed is beginning to try to pull away again from Dungey.
It's 65 here in the TV
great.
booth. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, these guys might want to hang out with us after this moto to cool off. Here they are through the sand whoops, and Dungey had to take a different line on the entrance because a rider was down. Better than this, the white flag is coming out. We'll have one lap to go. Ryan Dungey versus Chad Reed again. We saw a very similar situation at this race last year. Reed got tangled up with Ben Townley and went down. He wants to finish the job this time.
The body is already taxed. The track is rough and gnarly. What more effort, what additional effort can you throw out at this point to try to win this moto?
And somehow we are seeing it. Dungey is right behind Reed. They have both pushed the pace all the way down to the end of this. In red, center of the screen, Dungey right behind him. Does Dungey have a spot picked out? He's definitely close enough if he does.
Reed's got some lapped riders in front of him. There's a couple of sections here where it starts to funnel down.
Dungey is right there, Jeff, and Reed takes a look over his shoulder through the sand whoops. Only about 4
Dungey's
turns
got
left.
a good drive right here. You see Chad Reed working the Honda, Dungey working the Suzuki to the outside. This is a lot of momentum.
Dungey around the outside. Can he get the lead? Wheel to wheel. They scrub together. Dungey's on the inside, and Reed chops him off. Now headed to Larocco's leap. Will they negotiate it side by side like they did that table? No. Reed able to maintain the spot. 2 turns to go.
Dungey comes up just a little bit short on Larocco's leap, and that's going to give Reed a little breathing room headed towards the finish.
And that might be all Reed needs. Chad Reed wins a very exciting first moto at Red Bud. Ryan Dungey right behind him. And the fans here are the big winners in that one. They got to watch 2 of the best in the game. He's going to run out of time. Unless he is going through the finish line.
Just in front of him. Arch rivals there, no doubt.
Yeah, so Villopoto, a valiant effort from 37th to 9th.
No, I mean, you just have to be in the right place at the right time. That's what racing's about. And came down to the last lap, and man, I miss BT out here actually, bringing that up. But Dungey was on fire last year, and we got a little better equipment and a lot better equipment, and just I'm more comfortable and just having a blast out there. It's being fast is one thing, man, but you got to be really smooth, pick your lines. It's super gnarly, and getting past is tough. So I was out of tear-off, so I knew that Dungey was going to be out of tear-off, so I was just trying to take full advantage of that.
Another bounce-back win for Chad Reed. It was a rough one for him last week.
I feel like I did, but I didn't. I got by, and once Chad got into first, I was able to get into second, and tried to make it happen. I just couldn't do it. But we got one more moto coming up, and prepare for that one. You guys don't know.
First turn, and Villopoto indeed does have the start, putting the green fender of his Kawasaki into the #1 spot. With Dungey and Reed right there, all the favorites, Jeff, are up front.
Davey Millsaps was 4th.
This moto, Reed, he won. He's got to get them now in order to just gain some ground on these guys.
Michael Alessi is 4th on the Red Bull KTM, and then 5th is the Rockstar Suzuki of Brett Metcalf. So those are your fast 5. A little mistake from Villopoto, your leader. Dungey on the 1, closes up with Reed in the 22 right behind him, Jeff.
showed in Moto 1 that he can turn as fast the laps as our winners did.
And that was the thing, you know, he had a big crash in Moto 1. It took him out. He sat on the sideline.
I'm sure there's plenty of fans that wish they had it on, because it's hot out there right now.
I'll tell you what feels good right now, having the lead and pulling away. Ryan Villopoto, you saw how aggressive he was for those last couple of turns, Jeff, and he is trying to gap Dungey. He is really pushing the pace.
2:10.7, Dungey a 2:12 flat. So Villopoto just set the fastest lap of the day.
Coverage from the Rockstar Energy Drink National at Redbud Trail in Buchanan, Michigan. Ryan Villopoto right now, the Monster Energy Kawasaki kid out of Washington State, is trying to pull away from his main challenger, Ryan Dungey, kid out of Minnesota, who is in the number 4 spot. But the damage is done. Villopoto and Dungey, first and second, have pulled a big gap.
Definitely, but you know, Josh Grant is one of those names that he's just a great racer. And I think even if he took the rest of this season off, he would get a factory ride just because everybody knows his potential.
Ryan Villopoto struggled early today, picked himself up, dusted himself off, and comes back to win the second moto here at Redbud.
How was it for you?
Yeah, you know, like didn't get the greatest, didn't get to have the greatest first moto. You know, just had to work my way back up from last, and that's definitely hard on the body to you know, come from last, push the whole time. So you know, my goal was to get, you know, 2 good motos, and I felt like I rode hard both motos, and just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Results: Villopoto will end up 3rd for the day, and in the championship standings, he will lose 8 points to Reed.
Get around him.
I knew once he got around me, the race was over. You know, just I think we all love this track, but it's a very one-line track. You saw the same in the first moto with Ryan. You know, Ryan could get alongside, but he couldn't really make a pass. And so I just tried to play smart, and I was gauging these guys, hoping that Ryan wasn't going to get Villopoto, and I could go 1-3 and get the overall.
Winner in this series is a 16-point gap over Villopoto and Dungey, but that is a small margin when you consider we're only halfway through this tour. Complete. So let's show you the highlights of the first 30-minute and 2-lap race out here. Big crash. Watch the right side of your screen. Nick Way on the blue Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha ends up on the ground. A whole bunch of other riders were down just a few feet off to the left. Here's your battle out front. Chad Reed in the 22, and right behind him, Ryan Dungey. Dungey ready to go for the lead and challenge Reed, but watch this.
Gets the front wheel high, brings it back down, stuffs it in the sand, somehow keeps his Suzuki on 2 wheels as opposed to his teammate Metcalf.
Meanwhile, Ryan Villopoto is struggling, trying to work his way through traffic. Here he's going to get Trey Kennard, who fell off the pace just a tad. Chad Reed holds off the challenge from Dungey, wins the first moto here at Millville. And go racing from Spring Creek. This time, Villopoto has the good start. He's out front on the number 2 with Reed.
Trey Kennard right there inside the top 5. I think he sneaked around to the inside, but this is exactly what number 2, Ryan Villopoto, needed to do. And they've smoothed out the sand whoops to entry, but it's Chad Reed on the inside.
Toughest sections in all of motocross, and Reed handles it best. He's looking to make a move. Villopoto's going to fight back around the outside, but Chad Reed takes the number 1 spot.
Vacation and a weekend off. He is fired up here in the number 22.
Oh! Reed launches! We got trouble! Chad Reed is down and down hard! Crash that big.
So Villopoto out front. That puts, he's got a couple seconds already over Dungey, as you can see. And the intensity was too much.
Are you kidding me? Chad Reed is back on the motorcycle? Wow. How can this be? 30 feet up in the air, Jeff.
See his team manager, Dave Osman, there. They were taking a look at it. It looks like the silencer, looked like the bars, everything was pretty good. That also, and watch, he loses traction. And look at Chad, hits the downside. Let's just go ahead and just,
absolutely.
I'm not sure.
He is back racing, and he might have a shot. He's not that far back yet. He's not a lap down. He might have a shot to maybe even score some points. Ryan Villopoto is flying through here at Millville, but not without some serious drama already unfolding. Here's Ryan Dungey in second. So here is Chad Reed, scratching, clawing his way through. He is up to 24th place after one of the most spectacular crashes you'll ever see in a motocross race. I cannot believe he is, I'm not going to say uninjured, but at least feeling healthy enough. On the top of the screen, 6 minutes plus 2 laps. So Dungey has time to make a move. Now we have both motos that count here. Look at the event points as they run.
1 point, a second's a 2 point.
Yeah.
Our point system goes 25, then a 3-point gap back to 22, and then 20 for third. So you get that extra little bonus point for winning the moto, and Dungey needs it.
And listen to the crowd come to life. Moto, he's going to try to make a move around the outside. Going to jump back down.
Dungey has needed to do something really special. He's been so good and so consistent. And this is the place where you come for the rider. You
Look
need,
at this. Woo!
you know, you've got to win at your home track.
Well, we talked about it, Jeff, leading into this race. Would the home track advantage give him that little extra burst? You thought it might? It's
Ever in 2007 when he was battling.
Dungey's got an impressive second moto going here as well. He's going to drag race down the inside. Can Villopoto beat him to the spot? He does.
Villopoto, in his body language, he is not broken down. Is not, you know, there is no sense of urgency. He's still riding his pace and his race.
Can he make the move?
Taking the wide line, but what can he do with all that momentum? Dungey all over the place, left, right, on the outside.
Woo! Over the same jump. When they both saw Chad Reed almost end his season, they both step up, clear it, negotiate it together, and
Premier class. Two of the sport's best
Dungey
going
coming
at
down
it.
that hill so hard, Jeff.
Watch this here. He squares him up around the outside, maybe.
And once again, Villopoto beats him to it. Second half of this championship fight, Dungey needs to make up ground. Is it time for him to get aggressive? Yeah.
Well, he is getting aggressive. There's no doubt about it.
Here.
Look at Dungey. He just seems to have a little more momentum in spots.
Oh, this could be it. And once again, Villopoto beats him to the spot. Great move by the number 2. Right back up on Villopoto. But now time might be on Villopoto's side. He has staved off this attack. Dungey got to him about 5 minutes ago. Here he goes to the inside. And Dungey takes Villopoto down. Unbelievable. This could shake it up. Trey Kennard is in third. He's 50 seconds back. Villopoto's got to get the bike started.
Kawasaki in here. Watch this one more time. Gets a little wide and then hits that soft dirt right there on the side of that hill. Here it'll be, you know, he's got some visual memories of flying through the air like that.
Right.
But
a lot of people wondered, would Ryan Dungey find that extra spark, that extra aggression at his home track? And he did. He's going to win it in front of the home fans at Millville. Welcome back to Spring Creek. You are looking at one of the toughest athletes in any sport.
Very lucky indeed, Chad. A spectacular crash. You had a long time to roll up the windows out there. What went on from your perspective?
I didn't even know. I was actually excited that I made a pass on Ryan. I was aggressive right away, and next minute I know the handlebars just got ripped out of my hands, and I was winding up the windows. That was the scariest crash I've ever had, and man, I hit my head pretty hard and felt like I was going to throw up at any time in the moto. So just any points helps. I didn't even know where I finished, and tough day, but you know, championships are won on your bad days.
Well, I got off to a pretty good start, right? I think I was third. Was able to move my way into second, and Villopoto started opening up a little bit of a gap, but you know, I knew it was a hot day. I knew it was going to be a tough one, a lengthy race, and it ended up being that, you know, he maybe got caught up in some areas, but was able to make the pass coming out of that sand wash area, the last corner, and it feels good, man. It feels good to win in front of the hometown crowd, but really special to have everybody here. You know, they root. It takes a lot of people to make this happen, and I'm so glad we can all celebrate it together.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, from the start I had a great start. Dunlop tires just hooked up really good off the line. You know, rode awesome, I think, the first half of the moto, and then I got caught up with some lappers, and man, you know, it's hot, track's rough, so wore on me a little bit, but he got beside me in the whoops, and we came out of the turn, I got on it, and then I was on it just a little too long because he had a little more momentum when we came in the turn, and we didn't hit, but I couldn't turn down because he was there, and then my front wheel was in the powder, so couldn't save it.
Well, he had not been passed. Dungey gets him, and Chad Reed there salvages 5th overall with that 14th. Chooses Pennsylvania. Look at how close it is now. Reed barely escapes with the points lead. Villopoto and Dungey are right there off the start. 2 of our 3 championship combatants are immediately into the number 1 and 2 position. Of Dungey right next to him. Chad Reed, meanwhile, is buried. He gets stopped when another rider goes down in turn 2. Villopoto sprinted. He got away from Dungey on the opening laps, but Dungey just wouldn't give up, Jeff.
Dungey put on a charge, and he started to close it in, but his fellow Australian, Chad Reed, was way outside of the top 10, Passes another Australian here, Mike.
5. Dungey was able to close in on Villopoto, but watch this. Grabs too much throttle out of that corner, loses the back end, and that essentially ended the battle for the lead. Racing live on speed. Dungey and Villopoto out front just like they were. But now you got the 800 of Mike Alessi, who knifes to the inside. Villopoto has done with his starts today, 2 hole shots. But he's got his old rival, Mike Alessi, right there behind him. Dungey going after Alessi early. But these riders for the first 15 minutes, that's his goal, to stay in the hunt, and he is right now.
Yeah, and I believe that the track...
Oh, Canard launches, and he scrubbed it, I guess, too hard uphill and came back the other way.
Trajectory and flattens it out.
We are tossing the red flag out, and that means this race will come to a stop.
Right there, and it takes the whole momentum of the bike and the whole flow.
Okay, well, it's good to see that they took all the safety precautions they could by red flagging this, so they didn't have to deal with riders on a very, very fast section of the track. Racing again here at Washougal. And I don't think Villopoto's going to get it. Dungey out front, although Villopoto and Justin Brayton of the number 10 right there, and Reed tucks in on the inside.
Chad Reed tucks in. He's right there next to Brayton here in front of my hometown crowd to try to win my first overall here at Washougal.
And Brayton doing a good job on the Muscle Milk Toyota JGR bike in 3rd. 2 of Villopoto reversed from where they were before the restart. Villopoto is coming after it.
Wow, they are all over the track trying to find some good lines. Moto 1, these riders started with a fairly fresh track. Not too that sprays up. Hurts more here than any place on the circuit.
Look at Villopoto trying everything to get around Dungey, and he almost does. That is a turn where there's usually not room to make passes. And now he's going to go to the inside. Dungey on the outside.
This is only the first lap.
Yeah.
And they're riding at an intensity level and with the urgency of the championship being on the line.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they put several seconds on him as he was battling with Brayton, but I don't know if that was Brayton holding him up or just the fact that Dungey and Villopoto are on it right now out front.
He is riding the outsides, the insides, whatever it takes. He is finding smooth lines. He went from left all the way to right to the outside.
2 on a 250 bike, and last year on the 450s. But of course, Villopoto was not here last year. He was out injured. So really hard to pick a winner.
He was going like he was at a 2-minute flat, you know, and then that starts to, it gets hard to focus at that point.
Okay, so after taking on a lot of pressure from Villopoto to the first lap and a half, Dungey has settled in motocross where almost no matter where these guys start, they end up hooking up in the same positions. Oh, Metcalf has made the move on Reed, and that is huge in the championship standings.
And of course, last year here in the 450 class.
And that 2008 win for Dungey at this track was his first ever in American Motocross, Suzuki, and he has extended it over Villopoto in a big way, 10 seconds. So I theorized at the beginning of this race, the way Dungey has been very strong in the second half of the motos as of late, that if Villopoto couldn't break him early, that he might not be able to do it.
Lucas Oil ski jump, they're definitely cheering him on because even if they're Villopoto's fans, you have to respect this ride here today. Because
see his dad there on the right running down there to congratulate him. The checkered flag coming out here at Washougal, and Ryan Dungey has won it. 4 straight victories at this track day. Moto on the number 2 is going to leave as your new series points leader.
It means a lot, you know. I mean, we need to keep winning these races. That's the goal, and each and every weekend out. But that second, we had a restart, got off to a good start, you know, and just tried to put the laps down, and had a couple mishaps, got a little hairy, but was able to come out with the overall, which was cool, you know. I think Team Rockstar Mikita Suzuki did an unbelievable job.
In this, a win in the second moto over Villopoto, Metcalf, Reed, Brayton, and Alessi really close.
You know, I got 2 really good starts, and then you know, we had that red flag, which was a bummer because you know, Trey got hurt, but you know, we had to restart. I got an okay. I mean, it was a good start second, but obviously it wasn't like the first one. So just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki.
The overall results, Dungey and Villopoto tie on points for the day. Villopoto was 1 point ahead of Dungey in this. Look at how much it's changed now. Villopoto and Dungey are close, and Reed is right there as well. Under our belts here in Moto 1. We'll show you the highlights from earlier today. A big surprise off the start. Justin Barsha on the
Villopoto, though, with a 5th place start that would start to to work his way up front. He passes his teammate Jake Weimer. Ryan Dungey, the reigning champion, makes a mistake. Villopoto blows by commitment here by number 2. Villopoto to the inside, takes the lead away from the rookie 450 rider.
So late in the race.
Same spot, same result. Dungey gets by Barsha, but Barsha puts up a fight, and as they get into the lapped riders, they split these riders.
Barsha would go to the inside. That would work ordinarily, but look at Dungey able to squirt by. He would take over the number 2 spot, but too little, too late. Ryan Villopoto gets away early and wins the first moto. All right, 1 moto is complete today. Villopoto won it. Here is race number 2. Off on the inside, it's going to be Jake Weimer on the 32 and Mike Alessi on the number 800 out front. Fighting for it right now. You got the 17 of Barsha, who was a star earlier today in the first race. He is up to 3rd. Villopoto on the number 2, battling with Dungey. And in front of them, the number 10 of Just. All these riders, Jeff, they know you've got to get up front early. So these first laps, it is a battle right now. Villopoto going for 2nd immediately, and Barsha shuts the door.
And determination.
Look at that line. You're not supposed to be able to pass there, but Villopoto's going to try it. He pulls up alongside of Barsha and takes the 2nd place spot.
Love what I'm seeing out of him, and in this position, he just is firing away. He's not wasting any time.
Neither is Dungey. Dungey has cleared the 32 to make things happen. Meanwhile, Villopoto has made it happen. He has gone past Alessi and into the lead. So Villopoto has passed about 5 riders on the opening lap and be up front like this.
Oh, at this point, really, because he's got a clear track, not use any tear-offs. He can get into his pace.
And look who he's holding off. Chad Reed, the man who led the series standings all the way up until our previous race on the tour.
Wheel to wheel. Now Dungey's got a little line. Can he go down the inside?
Oh, and it's so hard to stop for this corner. You see them locking up the brakes. Both able to negotiate it from Australia today. But here he goes to the inside on Weimer.
This line's good, too. If he can double over, it's going to be a drag race to the top of the hill.
Reed, downhill we go.
Oh, and Weimer gets out in the soft set. Oh, Reed goes down.
Unbelievable. Reed had the pass made and goes
by Ryan Dungey, but it's, oh, look at that big mistake there by Dungey. The rear wheel skipping out on him. On his ruts in it, and it makes it hard.
Whoa, they get together, and they both go down. I believe that was incidental contact, and Reed may pick up more positions. He does. He will not be penalized, and he re-entered right where he was, right in front of Dungey. So he's okay. Here comes Dungey. Last lap, they almost touched. They're down. Barsha down. Unbelievable.
Jump to the inside to block Dungey, but he's there. Look at that. Oh, Barsha.
No problem at all. Absolutely.
Led the most laps. He dominates Unadilla.
Undefeated on the new bike. Ryan Villopoto wins Unadilla by taking both of the 2 motos.
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. The team came to us and said, hey, we have this option. You know, Europe's running it, and we said, yeah, let's try it, because we were struggling, and we tried it, and we never looked back from then. As soon as we rode it, we knew that it was better. We worked on it, and you know, I just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki.
You see?
I don't know, you know, just trying to make the pass, and I don't know, but just really tried to ride a good race. You know, I got stuck behind there for the whole race, but it's a little disappointing. But you know, we got another weekend off. I think we can work on a few things, and but overall on the day, I'm happy. You know, we pushed it, and days like today, you know, we need to make the most of it. But you know, for the most part, we had fun. Thank you, Team Rockstar, Miki Suzuki, everybody, and all fans and family.
He's not happy to come out here and finish 2nd to Villopoto and go from 1 point back in the series now to 7. And Chad Reed, 25 points back. So the first 450 class moto, which took place earlier today, it looks like the number 2 of Ryan Villopoto is going to get the whole shot, but he gets bumped and banged around by Justin Barsha. And the number 1 of Ryan Dungey is going to emerge with the lead right behind. A rare whole shot this year for Dungey. And he wasn't the only one. Chad Reed then went out with bike problems of his own, and we believe the points he lost in this moto may essentially eliminate Reed from championship contention. No such trouble for Dungey. Villopoto gave him a run late in the moto, but the number 1 holds on to be number 1 in Moto 1. Is that the case here?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, this place can take a lot of rain, but where we will see a lot of water starting to collect is at the bottoms of certain areas when there's like a G out down there.
So we've got track conditions to keep an eye on, a very dynamic track that's going to change a lot, and of course, the dynamic championship chase, which has changed considering that Ryan Dungey won our first moto earlier today.
It cuts in so hard that it's a real funnel and a vortex going to the first turn. If your 10 gates are out, so if you're lining up 30 to 40, which is his chances of getting a good start.
Unbelievable. Dungey has the bike. He's rolled out on the racetrack. He's ready to go racing. Now he's got to overcome the bad gate pick, and where is he at mentally at this point?
Well, he's going to need it because this gate pick is going to be a massive disadvantage for him.
Barsha in the lead right now over Brayton, Weimer, Villopoto, and Dungey, meanwhile, the rule was he had to get out on the track before the leader crossed the finish line, and he just made it out. Sloppy racetrack. There is Justin Brayton in the number 2 position. And there it is, Barsha, Brayton. And this track, completely different than what we saw. You remember the highlights at the top of the show from the teammates, and the Suzuki behind them is Metcalf. So a 3-rider duel, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Weimer on the 32. There goes Villopoto, who's already totally covered in mud.
He needs to just have a good, solid top 4, top 5 race and finish this moto. And he could have a pretty substantial points lead by the time.
The 16 of John Dowd. So you're looking at 3 Massachusetts riders in the top 10 right now. Dowd is in 10th, Marshall 9th, Morrison 8th. And drama here at Southwick, and more has unfolded. Here is Chad Reed headed back to the pits with his mechanic Lars. Disaster of no fault of his own, though. They had to change motors between races. They couldn't get the thing going, and the gate dropped, and the race started without him. He finally got the bike going, luckily before the leader had completed. In Moto 2, he's coming through traffic now. He's in 13th. So scratch Dungey from a chance to win the overall today with a 1st and a 13th. The man who stands to possibly win the overall right now is Brett Metcalf. He's made another pass. What an effort in the sand, the mud, the rain on a bike that he's probably not sure what was right or what was wrong with it. He has done nothing but just nothing else.
Dungey, this is going to put this pass will put Dungey into 9th place.
Unbelievable. So Dungey has literally passed 31 riders because everyone had started the race before he did. Meanwhile, let's focus on this. The kid does it. Justin Barsha, we talk quite a bit how he is not intimidated at all by the superstars of the 450 division. Number 2, through the eye, our Hurricane Irene. Justin Barsha wins his first ever 450 moto here at Southwick. Help out a little bit with our results here in Moto 2. Barsha the winner, Metcalf by virtue of that 2nd place finish, and a 3rd in Moto 1 will win the overall.
Honestly, I have no idea. The first moto was just some bad luck, and I knew I could ride the sand good. This is my favorite place, and I just went out there, far outside, got a great start, charged the whole time, the whole Honda team, the Geico, everyone, they did so great today, and all my mechanics, thanks a lot.
Ran out of gas. He wins the overall here in 2011. One of the few riders who was able to be consistent on a very rough day today by virtue.
For my motocross career, this is the highlight for sure. I mean, it's been eight years here in the U.S. trying to get a win, and this is incredible. You know, after last year's heartbreak, this makes up for it. Just thanks to Rockstar Makita Suzuki.
And I really don't know. There's so many mixed emotions right now. It's kind of hard. You know, 1 minute, I didn't even think I was going to ride. I thought I was done. Going back to the pits, over the hill he comes, and hop on the bike, and at that point, you know, it's just points and salvaging and limited to damage. You know, it's you know, I don't want anybody to take away from my team. You know, it's teams that it's because we finished in 7th and gained points, and that's the difference of finishing the moto, not even a finishing or starting. And Team Rockstar, Makita Suzuki, all the mechanics, Mike, my mechanic, and it's hey, there's 4 races left, and it's not impossible. And I'm just glad we could get out there and pick some guys off and walk away safe.
On Fuel TV. Side, but Barsha's going to get past both. And Dungey takes advantage of Barsha cutting across the front of Villopoto and takes over 2nd.
Wow, Villopoto got real aggressive there, tried to get to the inside of Dungey, and right now they've put down a little bit of water. They've worked the track in certain spots. It's going to be really slippery. You see Dungey slipping and sliding, trying to hold the inside line.
And Dungey able to take the lead away from Barsha. Barsha's going to try to get it back on the extreme left side. Fast Villopoto getting the wheels back down to the ground, trying to horsepower his way past Barsha.
Watch the inside. Barsha's out in the messy stuff.
It's a drag race now. Another one of these big Steel City jumps, and Villopoto's going to beat Barsha to the inside. This area for the first time. now instead of uphill jumps, and we'll hook back onto the start straight.
Yeah, and look at Villopoto. He notched a triple in there. And you can see there's some wet spots on the track. That's all little rocks in there. It's brutal.
And now, just as quickly as Villopoto is able to close right up on Dungey, Dungey pulls back on. Maybe he can get around Dungey that way.
Wow, look at these guys. They're doing a double and then a triple single through there. No doubt part of that 2:27 lap time.
We'll just talk real quick about the jumps on this track compared to what we had in the sand last week.
Yeah, this is night and day difference in these racetracks, and it's going to get extremely rough and rutted, but certainly it's got that Supercross style feel to it.
You come so far, and as a team you try to build from Supercross. It was our first year ever, and we achieved getting second, won 2 races. And then we were on a roll in outdoors. We were winning races, won 4 overalls, and we had a good points lead. And Millville kind of set us back a little bit, and then you try to rebuild from that. Try to realize that it was really a bigger issue than what it really was. You try to just, dust it under the rug, and it never went away. I just was never riding at my best. So rebound and then come back at Southwick with 2 DNFs. It's disappointing, and it's tough to finish off the season, like you come here to win races and with the hope of winning a title, and the hopes, the light at the end of the tunnel is really, really small right now, and so we're just trying to finish off the seasons with the most overalls, try to get another 1 or 2, and get ready for donations.
They get through another lap rider. That's Ricky Dietrich. Luckily for Dungey, no one in his path this time over this double.
You see Villopoto, he's starting to put the hammer down where if Ryan Villopoto can execute that triple next to Dungey, then he can possibly use it.
He's next to him right now, Jeff. He goes to the inside. This apparently is Villopoto's time to go and pull the trigger. He's going to have a huge advantage as the championship begins to head toward our finale next week at Palin, California. Villopoto on the 2, Dungey on the number 1.
Last time around at the finish line, Villopoto was a 2:26.5 and Dungey a 2:27 flat. And Dungey, he's not going to allow Villopoto to have any chance at passing him there. 2 lap board is out. Here's that slippery spot, Jason.
And Villopoto's run this outside line a couple times. Now Dungey goes out there to block it, and he ends up right in front of Villopoto as they race past the mechanics area with 2 laps to go. They are just absolutely tapped everywhere around this track. Right-hand corner. Dungey made a big mistake there earlier. He's got it covered this time. Now back downhill, a left-hander. Villopoto to the inside. Dungey able to squirt back past him.
They're not even dropping off their lap times at all. In fact, as this thing gets down to the checkered flag, it may be the last lap that both rider turns in their fastest because they have to, because they're pushing for that win. Oh, there it is. White flag, 1 to go. Riders just turned a 2:27.5 for both riders.
And the 3rd place rider, Metcalf, ran a 2:35. They are 8 seconds faster than the 3rd place rider, who is obviously very fast in his own right.
The spectators are responding here. Beautiful day here at Steel City. Over 90 degrees, feels like over 100 with the humidity, and these riders are just putting in perfect rides. I mean, just no mistakes for that tabletop. Villopoto, now Villopoto makes the mistake.
Wow, Dungey landed, about 5 feet beyond the landing.
Makes another mistake.
Here comes Villopoto around the outside, full throttle.
So Dungey wisely blocks the inside there, but can Villopoto square him up?
Only got about 3-4 corners to go. Here it is, right-hand turn. Dungey able to maintain it with a few lap riders in front of him.
Couple lap riders, where are they going to go? That's Les Smith and Michael Byrne. This could be the decision maker right here.
Now Villopoto's on the right side where he was on the left earlier. He's going to go for it and take the lead and the win in the last corner. Unbelievable finish. Ryan Villopoto grabs the lead in the last turn of a 30-minute and 2-lap battle with Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, the track's pretty one line, and I got a great start, but Justin and Ryan got around me up there, but I just stuck behind him, and it was kind of like cat and mouse. He'd pull away, I'd catch him, pull away, catch him. And I had a pretty good line here the last probably 5 laps I was taking, and I was able just to get him right before the finish. So everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki's helped me out a lot. Dunlop to the great tires to get me out to a good start.
You needed those points desperately. What are your thoughts now with 3 motos left of the season?
Just get through today. It'd be awesome to have another moto like that and get a win, but just be smart.
Big talk, big sports, big tunes, Daily Habit. Wild.
It was just a little unfortunate, leading that whole race felt good, felt like I had a strong pace, but I knew we were going to go at it to the end, but when it came to that last second to last corner, it just kind of caught me different, you know. And it's racing though, you know. I think it's important that we just keep our head up and we got another moto, a lot of racing left, so it's just a matter of regrouping and getting back to it.
How much did lappers play effect in that last race?
A little bit, you know. It's I can't really blame them, you know. It's everybody's got to deal with them, but track's slippery, and just tire was kind of going a little bit, but Dunlop was working awesome. They did a great job, and all team Rockstar Makita Suzuki did a fantastic job, so thanks to them, and we'll get back out there ready for Moto 2.
Get in the mix and spoil it for the Ryans. Not going to happen. Both of the Ryans get to the first turn up front.
And early in the season, he had the wins, he had the points lead and all that, so we'll see if he can put it together here in Moto 2 at Steel City.
And Villopoto around the outside of Dungey and immediately goes to the lead. Can Dungey respond? He's stuck on the outside of that left-hander, and Villopoto makes the pass stick.
The mojo working. No need to give it up now. It's all about going out and just putting together the best rides that you can each and every time.
And he knows Reed as Villopoto gets away. And here's Reed going for the second place spot.
Dungey taking a look over his right shoulder. He sees Chad Reed there. Oh, look at the bike skating around.
Villopoto responding late in the first moto and then coming out here in Moto 2. Wouldn't think the championship's on the line. He is riding cool, calm, and collected, and he's got a big lead. Can he hold it? Now he's got a chance to win this one for himself. He's doing a great job of it. Here is Dungey, the #1, challenging Chad Reed for second.
Yeah, and I think you have to go back even a few more years for Ryan Villopoto when he had that wrist injury and they had to take his wrist would be locked up. They might have to fuse it.
Dungey to the inside on Reed. Sorry about that, Jeff. And we were wondering if Reed could mix it up with these guys. He did for almost 10 minutes. In the first race earlier today. It has turned the tables as far as the momentum is concerned, and then he polishes it off with a fantastic performance, winning and leading every lap in the second moto today. Ryan Villopoto.
I mean, it's huge. You know, this is like this is the Salt Lake race of outdoors for me. So, you know, I got a decent breather going into Paula. We'll just get through that. You know, I'm just gonna maintain what I have and show up to Paula ready. Like I said, I have that gap now that it's a little more comfort, but for sure I want to go there, ride well, put a show on for you guys.
I don't know if I overrode it or anything. I think I rode it pretty good. You know, I think first moto was really well, and he got by me there at the end of the thing. But you know, I went on a limb there, made some changes before the second moto, and just wasn't shining too good, man. Lost a little bit of ground and was struggling. But no excuses. He rode really good, and go to Paula, put our best effort in, and have some fun, and we'll go from there.
15-point lead for Villopoto. That's not much. 25 points are paid to win a single moto, and we'll race 2 of them next weekend. So Dungey still has a shot. Let's check out the highlights of the first moto already complete. Chad Reed of the 22 gets bumped off the start, cuts over on your championship contenders, but then goes down to
Alessi out front with the start, but watch this. Big mistake by Ryan Villopoto. Hand comes off, he cartwheels. That could have meant the title, but he comes back strong on Dungey.
Yeah, here he is, gonna make the pass. They're battling with each other through traffic after the bad start. Then Dungey gets Villopoto back, and then Dungey makes a mistake, goes by him again.
Villopoto, he was on the attack. He had Barcia in his sights. This is the move for the lead, and that is a huge statement by the points leader.
Late in the race, Dungey's able to catch Barcia as well. He'll get 2 championship points back by moving up from 3rd to 2nd, but no time left to catch Villopoto, who wins the first moto and further extends his points lead. It is all come down to this. And they all funneled down to the inside.
In the first moto, when he went down in the first turn,
Mike Alessi running a line off the side of the track, tries to get around Jake Weimer, who goes down out of this 40-rider field. As Chad Reed and Justin Brayton are up front early. Reed is taking the lead from Brayton.
Looks like he will remount.
So this is a scenario for Dungey and Villopoto, the same type of things that have unfolded there for Byrne and Fasciotti. Dungey has to hope that some similar bad luck gets in the way of Villopoto in one lap of a motocross race. Oh, and Villopoto almost runs it in on Dungey.
Well, Dungey tried that wide line, but the cushion, and there was just nothing there for him to bounce off of and get to Suzuki.
Was close, a couple of big mistakes while trying to make moves. They're actually battling the number 30 of Kyle Regal in that race. They have to deal with him again. Les Smith in front of them. Difficult.
There's no doubt about that. And Les Smith on that JGR Muscle Milk Toyota bike. Uh-oh, Dungey's off the track.
Woo! Oh,
Gets back on in a safe area. He did not make a pass. Well,
he makes it
by
now.
there.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough call. The situation, Jeff, as you alluded to, you can't gain an advantage if you get back off in a similar position to where you get back on. Yeah, I remember last week they were so close in the first moto in Pennsylvania, and then the second moto, Villopoto got away, and Dungey said they made some changes to the bike that didn't quite work. These two are so evenly matched. Little changes here or there have made a big difference as the momentum seems to swing back and forth week after week.
And it just hasn't been coming together for him.
Oh, he's making moves right now. He's going after Michael Lessie and just blows past him. Dungey, well, he's feeling it right now. He knows he has to go to the front. The pressure is on. He's responding to it right now. Chad Reed continues to lead the way here at Pala. A bit of a comeback for Reed, who led the series standings for a great majority of this championship. But then it all came unglued when he literally came unglued from his motorcycle.
But this downhill, they did nothing to it. When you land there, it's got a massive kick. Of course, they didn't do anything to this uphill.
No, it looks pretty gnarly. Here goes Dungey down to the inside. Gets it done. And a big shake-up here at Pala. A new leader, Justin Barsha, had closed the gap on Chad Reed while we were away.
Reed makes a little mistake, slides down, hands it over to Barsha.
For Barsha to get the overall win, but a long way to go. Feels like we've been racing forever, but we're only just past the halfway point in this one. What has also happened is a Reed losing some ground with that little tip over. Here comes Dungey, and here comes Villopoto challenging the 22. Shake up the overall and maybe give the win for the afternoon to Barsha. Try to find someone who would have predicted Justin Barsha would win a 450 race. Well, I mean, this year was up. He wasn't even in this class.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome back. Phenomenal racing out here at Pala. Ryan Dungey has now made the move on Chad Reed for second. And Ryan Villopoto trying to get by Chad Reed to go into third, but Reed has been very aggressive today. He wants to prove that he still has the stuff to run with the Ryans. Here's how Villopoto passed Reed for third.
Well, watch right here. Villopoto just gets over that right-handed roller, and there's a little double-double right there, all around the country, racing motocross and all that, and now to be at the top step, right? This is it, creme de la creme, premier championship in all of motocross. 2 more laps to go. He could lock it down.
Motorcycle in front of Dungey and hold him off.
Here we go. The track is really tricky at this point. It's, you know, the shadows are starting to cast over the backside of some of these jumps.
Barsha had that bike left, right, swap in every direction, still holds on. Here's where Dungey made the pass on Reed, and he goes by Barsha. Barsha's going to try to get him back. Going to switch from outside to inside. Reed early. And now with 1 to go, Dungey has stolen it from him.
They crossed the line. That was a 2:17 for Dungey. He was flying. Barsha was a 2:19. Everyone else is a 2:20 or higher.
TM to join his old boss Roger DeCoster, but what Dungey did, he never showed a crack in the foundation. He never made it look like there was any chaos or drama with that team. He kept his head in the game all the way through. He's going to come up just short, but still a great season for him. As for Villopoto, what can you say? Bouncing back from 2 years of catastrophic injuries. It's been an awesome season to watch. Ryan Dungey knows it's over now. He's going to win here at Pala, but will probably come up a few points short. He was on the couch with a broken ankle, a broken tib and fib in his lower leg. He has come all the way back to win the Supercross title, and now the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Unbelievable season for him and his team. And like I said, this guy, he's been down before, but he is relentless. It's time to celebrate here at Pala. Ryan Villopoto has done it in what you could argue was the most competitive and the most compelling championship battle in the history of this sport. He has come out on top.
Thank you, Aaron. Ryan, congratulations to you and your team on a great season. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the American Motorcyclists Association and MX Sports Pro Racing to present you with the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Racing 450 Motocross Championship #1 plate. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I mean, it's huge. You know, we started off this outdoor season way behind, and it was up and down. It's the most up and down outdoors I've ever had, or season. So, you know, I just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki. This is huge. You know, it's been a hell of a year. Like I said, everybody that's helped me, every single person, I just can't thank them enough. And, you know, it's time to go to Motocross the Nations and let's bring it home.
Well, I just he messed up in the rhythm, and I ended up just tucking under him and making a pass, which is good. I'm really happy to end it out with a win. You know, it was a long-fought season. You know, that's what it's about. That's what racing's about, and we turned our butts off, man. And congratulations to the whole Kawasaki crew, Ryan Villopoto. It was a joy racing them all year, man. It was there was nothing I had to worry about. We could just fight each other clean, and you know, let them taste a little bit of this victory like I did last year, and. I'm just really excited. You know, a lot of people, I got to thank everybody, especially the man above, and there's a sense of happiness that comes with it, you know, and I'm just really excited, and I keep moving forward, and just congrats to everybody. Team Rockstar, Makita Suzuki, it was a long year and a lot of fun, man. So I look forward to the Des Nations. Hopefully we can take it home to Team USA and make them proud.
Every moto was inside the top 10. Every overall was inside the top 5. He finishes with 10 moto wins, 3 overalls, and Villopoto also led the most laps.
He definitely earned it.
Yeah,
and
that's
here are the
good stats.
Yeah. For Villopoto over Dungey, they both are going to be able to look back over a long series and think about where they could have gained or lost a few of those. Chad Reed is third in the championship.